All right. Here are 7 actual endings that you can use in your class. Number 1, stretch. So you've been doing some sort of physical activity. You can put on one song at the end and just stretch. This can be a really nice ritual if you use the same stretches each time. It can help people feel like, oh, we've come to this wonderful thing that we do at the end, and it can give them this nice, calm, meditative, relaxed feeling at the end of each class, kind of like they've just gotten a good massage. So that's one nice way to end. Secondly, you can dance it out. Especially if you have some sort of full dance class like a Zumba where you're supposed to dance for the whole hour. It's nice to take a song that's slightly more mellow but still a dancey song and actually choreograph the whole song. Now with nice simple dance steps, something where they feel like they're dancing, still add some musicality. If there's breaks in the song, create your breaks, and then work the stretches into the choreography. So maybe you do some dance steps and then you hold a stretch, maybe you have some hands to do while you're doing your stretch, something like that. So they still feel like they're dancing through the whole hour, instead of, oh, I had fun, and at the end then we had to do this lousy stretching. So if you choreograph the last song so that it's the cool down and stretch together, they still feel like they're dancing, they'll have a better time in a Zumba type class. You can have a meditation at the end. So especially like a yoga class or something else meditative, you can stretch and cool down a little, do all your review, and then actually have time for them to sit and meditate. Give them some sort of guided, something to work on. That can be a really nice ending. You can do a formal thank you ending, especially if you've had a class with a somewhat elegant or formal tone, and if you've had lots of helpers. So you could say, thank you very much for attending this class. I'd like you all to give a round of applause to the TAs, blah and blah and blah, for volunteering this past hour to help you learn how to dance. I'd also like to give a round of applause to our DJ, blah, for playing such wonderful music for this whole hour. Again, my name is Anna. Thank you very much for your attention. I've really enjoyed working with you, and I hope you'll stay the rest of the night and enjoy the social dancing. La 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 la. So you can use a formal thank you closure if you've had helpers and if that fits the tone of your class. Self-directed. You can do a self-directed ending, especially if you want them to stay after and keep practicing. So you do your review, you do your closure, you end on a positive note, you do your video, you showcase what you're going to do next week. So you do your whole ending. And then you say, great, find your favorite partner, or find the partner that you danced with first in this class. Sometimes that gets boyfriends and girlfriends back together, or friends back together. If you say, go back to your first partner, whoever you first danced with, then they'll go back. Or dance with whoever. You know, I always throw in a little like, if you don't remember who your first partner was. Yeah, so you can get them all ready to practice on their own if it's a solo style, or practicing together if it's partner, and you put on one last song and you just let them go. And that's the end of class, is them practicing even more. That blends really well if you have the room available to you and they can continue practicing. It also helps because then you can take questions and people can keep practicing, because no matter how many times you ask for questions during the class, they won't necessarily ask the questions during the class. They'll come up to you after. I don't know why. So it's good to leave a 5 minutes at the end of class where people are just dancing and practicing for all those shy ones to come up and ask you those questions maybe were too shy to ask during class. The other good thing about self-directed is it helps people work together. Maybe there's things that they didn't get during the class, but they can talk to a friend and they'll figure it out in that last little window of time if you leave them time to do some self-directed helping and fixing. So self-directed is a good way to end. A short thank you. So instead of a long formal thank you, you can just say, thanks very much. Again, my name is Anna. I'm really glad you came. See you next week. If you have any questions, I'll be over there. Yeah. And last but not least, a discoursive, the exact opposite, discoursive ending. If you have had a class where you've introduced a lot of new concepts, or you have a lot of new dancers, or you covered a lot of material, or you think they have a lot of questions, but they haven't been asking them, I might sit down. Again, anytime you're going to discourse, I sit down. And I say, okay, we're done with class. Thank you very much. Now, I'd like to review all the concepts that we've done, or I'd like to take all of your questions, or I'd like to sort of give a nice structural overview of everything that we just talked about, put it all into context, talk about what we're going to do next time. And you just get a chance to really, by sitting down, I think people feel more comfortable asking questions because they feel like, oh, okay, I'm not interrupting the flow of the class. I really am supposed to ask this question now because all we're doing is talking. So sometimes then I'll get 5, 6, 7 more questions than I thought that they might ask while we were standing. So discursive can be good if you have a lot of new material, difficult concepts, you've talked a lot about tricky things and you aren't sure they all got it and you think they need to talk for a bit. That's it. So I hope some of those actual endings help you. Again, if you have any questions, let me know.